Hello, loves, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. My name is Natasha. I am a mom of one, a toddler, a 2-year-old girl. Her name is Lauren, and this channel is all about a peek into our little lives. I try to do cleaning motivation. I vlog about the different things that I'm doing at home or with my daughter or for her, and just whatever comes to mind. And so in today's video, you're going to see me clean up an area that I feel like I'm always cleaning, which is the living room and the little like dining catch-all office area. And today I'm going to show you how it's not meal prepping, but it is a way to think about when you buy your meat, whatever meat it may be. Particularly this, I do chicken in this video, just seasoning it and putting it in the freezer so that all you have to do whenever you're ready to cook is defrost and proceed to cook it however you want. Bake it, fry it, saute it, whatever the case may be. So that is what I show you in this video. I hope you enjoy. Please like, comment, and subscribe. It would really mean a lot to me as I am trying to build up my channel. I've been doing this since December of 2020, and while I thought this was just going to be like a little hobby, this is a lot of work to get videos filmed, to edit videos, put them together, but it is all worth it. I feel very like this is a very cathartic experience, and I appreciate when people like my videos or they leave me comments. It really does a lot to help boost my channel as I'm starting out. I had dreams of YouTube stardom, but the truth is I just want to make videos and have a channel that anyone relates to when it comes to just life as a relatively young mom, as someone who is a working mom, someone who is just trying to maintain house and home and just go through the journey of life. So again, please like, comment, and subscribe. And enough talking, just enjoy the cleaning. So, this is just an area of our apartment that just gets a lot of traffic between Lauren playing, us watching TV, sitting around. We're not the family who sits and eats at the table, although that is how I grew up. That is something that I want us to get back to. And then, of course, we don't have like a couch or anything. And there's a long story for that. And we have like the coffee table pushed back. So it's just an open area that just gets a lot of wear and tear. And I find that if I don't pick up in this room often or clean up often, it will get completely trashed. As Lauren is looking for our bearded dragon Bruce, and she's just trying to locate him. Their relationship has definitely evolved over time. When we first brought Lauren home, and she was like crying, and it was really loud. Bruce would hide in his under his rock in his tank, and now he doesn't run from her, and he's very, very docile. Doesn't bite, doesn't have any teeth, doesn't scratch, doesn't attack her at all. And not saying that animals don't have that instinct to do that, but he is very gentle with her, while I may not be able to say the same about her to him. So anyway, back on track here. So yeah, it's an area that I try to pick up things regularly, even if it's just a matter of putting things back in their home, and throwing away any trash that sits around, even if I'm not like doing an in-depth clean. But I find that if I don't stay on top of it, it is an area that can get very messy very fast. And because it is the main living space, the only living space, aside from the bedrooms, it is a place that I do my best to try to keep clean, so that it is comfortable, especially since we've been spending all of this time at home. It would be a year, or it's been a year, almost a year, since we've been working from home with stay-at-home orders, since the pandemic has started. And it really does make you look at your space differently. You're like, ugh, why is that there? Or there's too many things out here, or whatever. I'm rambling. So just wanted to share some of my thoughts about that. And yeah, let's just get back to the cleaning. So in the kitchen now, um, I find, well, I'll say this. So started a new routine, um, and we're sticking with it. We're like 80% successful. So to alleviate or reduce the amount of times the kitchen sink is like full of dishes, we have started running the dishwasher once at night. And so throughout the day or at the start of the morning, emptying the dishwasher from the night before, making sure like all the dishes are put away, starting off with a clean dishwasher, and then rather than just dropping dishes in the sink, either putting them directly once they've been used in the dishwasher, or if we need to sort of rinse, get any stuck on food off, putting them in the dishwasher, and then before bed, running the dishwasher and repeating the same process the next morning. I find that we are really successful Sunday through about Friday morning. The weekend is where we tend to fall off, and we would have dishes and things piling up, but we are getting back into the swing of following that routine because it really just keeps the sink empty. Or it's like a pot or a big dish that we need to hand wash anyway. So that has been really, really great in keeping the kitchen clean. It's like a clean sink is the equivalent of a made bed. And those are the two chores that I hate the most, dishes and making the bed. But I agree that it does make the world of difference on how you look at a space and how it would motivate you to clean up everything else when those things are done. So making a bed for a bedroom and having your dishes washed and a clean sink. So here you'll see me washing some of Lauren's toys because not only did she become Picasso overnight and started drawing on them with dry erase marker, she has a habit of playing while she's eating. And I know some people are like, oh, you need to provide the structure when your child eats. Yeah, maybe, whatever, whatever floats someone else's boat. Our boat runs on the fact that she can sit down on a blanket with her yogurt, play with a toy, and that is how she enjoys her meal. It is what it is. Anyway, so I washed off some of her toys so that we were not putting back toys that had food or anything crusted on them. um so what you see, well, first of all, let me say I think Lauren is past the high chair stage. She does still fit in it because she is a tiny 2-year old. I mean, she's long, she's lean, but she is just her stature is small, if you get what I'm saying. Um if you follow me on Facebook, or if we're friends on Facebook, and I'm still debating about opening up my Instagram, but I think that would bring more traffic to my YouTube channel. Another story for another day. You'd see what I'm talking about. But I say all that to say that I have lost the battle with her dad about getting rid of this high chair because she does, when she sees it, she wants to sit in it. We do have the booster seat that she sits in on occasion when we're sitting at the table, but she does prefer her high chair. Now, because of that, this high chair gets pretty disgusting. So at the beginning of the clip, you would have seen like crusted on jello, cheese, like all the things that make my stomach curl because I hate to see like old crusted food like that. But neither her father or I, excuse me, made an effort to clean the chair. But I was like, I couldn't look at this anymore. So I put hot water in the sink with a little pine sol because I wanted the disinfecting aspect of it as well. And I took to taking apart pieces I had never taken apart before to really give this chair a good clean and a good scrub. It did have padding on it, and I took the padding off weeks ago to wash, and I never put it back on. And part of that was just because, one, the padding had grew really disgusting with, like, again, caked on food, crumbs and things like that. And I figured at this point it would be easier to clean if we opted out of putting the padding back on. So I just packed that away. And I was hoping to pack away this high chair, but when we are limited on space, like we are using every inch of closet space. We do not have like balcony storage. We don't have a garage to provide us any storage. So things are out in the open, and when they're out in the open, she sees it and she wants to sit in the chair. So it is what it is. I'm hoping that soon we can get rid of this chair. But anyway, so that is what you see me doing in this clip. Like, I even put it in the sink, I scrub it down, I get a knife and a Lysol cloth, and I just start getting into like all the cracks and crevices. But the end result was really, really nice because it was a very clean and disinfected chair. I do go over it, like once it is all cleaned, I do go over it with my all purpose cleaner, in the scent. I think it's like orange and rosemary from Grove. I just use that to kind of pick up any like little things that I've missed, wipe it down one good time. And then it just had that scent versus the strong pine scent. Um, and we're making a point because she has been in the chair since to kind of wipe it down, empty out the crumbs. We roll the chair into the kitchen where it is the hard floor that we can sweep things up, dust off the chair, and we do wipe it down more regularly so that again it doesn't build up. But I mean, it's life, it's not a big deal. Um, this is where she eats, and she's not a refined eater. She eats with her hands, things fly, things get dropped. It's just a matter of staying on top of it to avoid the mess that, you know, eventually will accumulate on this type of surface. So did a quick clean of just the living area. There's some things that I still need to pick up, put in its home or throw out. I did the vacuum with the big corded dirt devil. I did put down my Aunt Fanny's carpet freshener, so I do need to go back over that. And I'll go over that with the Shark that is charging now, just because it's not something I need to unplug, etc., 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 etc. Trying to, you know, get the right angle. I'm holding my phone here. I'll do it this way. So the next thing that I did was, you saw I cleaned Lauren's high chair. I honestly want to get rid of it so bad, but for right now I'm outnumbered in that vote. So as long as she can still fit in it, meaning she can get in, she can get out, and there's no problem, then it's like, damn that chair. But no, and so just needed to clean that up. The not glass concentrate, the concentrate cleaner from Grove, the all-purpose cleaner, lavender and thyme, honestly smelled so good. Was able to then just go back over that with, I cleaned it with Pine Sol hot water and then went back over all the little parts with that spray. What I didn't do on camera was I just wiped down the stove from breakfast. I cooked yesterday. The stove had been cleaned but got messy, like I said, when I cooked breakfast this morning. I am not cooking today because there are enough leftovers to get through dinner for all of us, unless Lauren wants something different that would be quick and easy to whip up. I am going to show you, though, my way of staying accountable to my eating at home, not spending any money on food. As you can see the menu here on the board. Sorry, Lauren is crying. I'm trying to figure out why. So it's weird. It does not start with Sunday, which I think is odd, but whatever. So Saturday and Sunday weren't there because, again, I cooked yesterday barbecue chicken, mac and cheese, rice and peas, and there were some steamed mixed vegetables. And that is going to last us today and into today. Tomorrow I am going to I have a few salmon pieces left that I just want to go ahead and use up. So I'm going to cook that. I'm going to bake chicken. I'm going to roast some potatoes and saute some green beans. And so in order for me to find the energy tomorrow after a day of work to do that, I just find it easy to pre-season the chicken or pre-season whatever meat. So I have a case of legs, and I think there's like 9 or 10 in there. I'm not gonna make all 10 of those. Essentially, I can get at least 2 dinners or 3 dinners really out of that one pack of chicken. So I'm going to season all of it. I am going to wrap up some and actually freeze it. And then the ones for tomorrow, I will just put back in the bottom of the fridge on a plate in secured in a bag or a Ziploc bag, whatever. You'll see what I'm talking about. So that tomorrow, when it really is like, oh man, really the hard part is done because the meat is cleaned, it's seasoned, and all I have to do is preheat the oven, put it in there, and just focus on the sides. And the salmon is pretty easy. I'm just gonna season up that and just throw it in the oven as well. So this is just my way of staying on track. And there's nothing wrong with freezing chicken when you get it and then thawing it off and doing whatever you need with it. But the truth of the matter is that I know for me, it's going to discourage me from cooking. And God forbid I forget to take the chicken out, right? And so I just don't want to have to go through that process. So I'm just going to show you how I clean the chicken, how I season the chicken, and how I divvy it up in terms of a meal that I know I'm going to cook rather soon, which is tomorrow, and what I do with the chicken that I'm not going to use right away. So hopefully you enjoy. So what you see me doing here is on the cutting board, and we use this green cutting board for meats and different things. I lay down some parchment paper, and then I lay down a paper towel. So there's just like one more protective barrier between any like chicken juice or whatever, meat juice, whatever that I can kind of get to, or the parchment paper will get to before it hits the cutting board. Even though the cutting board will still get cleaned with a little bleach and, get scrubbed down, I still just like to add that layer. So I use lemon juice, fresh lemons, and vinegar to clean the chicken. I kind of put the vinegar, lemon juice, chicken, and then I squeeze the fresh lemon juice over it before adding some water and letting it just sit for about 20 minutes or so, to really sort of cut that icky chicken smell, right? And to be honest, like, this is just how I grew up watching my mom and my aunts and everybody else clean chicken. And I know people, they can buy chicken, stick it in the freezer, and then defrost and season. Like, it doesn't matter. I just know for me, I am more likely to cook and eat a meal at home if there's little to think about and little prep. So after even just working from home, different from when we used to go and out for work and come back in. It's a long day, and I don't want to have to think about hopefully remembering to take out the chicken, let it defrost, season it, all that stuff, when all I need to do is just take it out from the night before, put it in the fridge, maybe about 30 or so minutes before cooking, kind of taking it out of the fridge so that it can come down more to room temperature, I guess, and then just sticking it in the oven. And then all I have to do is make a side, so I don't have to do all of what you see me doing in this video. I simply am just preheating the oven and sticking it in there. I am wearing food safe gloves just in case you're wondering. And this just helps prevent how many times I have to wash my hands in between certain transitions. All I'm simply doing is just removing the glove and getting another one. That just works for me. I do not use these gloves for PPE sake, as I find that just takes a lot of work. I used to in the beginning, and it's just a matter of no, I'm not doing that anymore. So I do have these gloves on hand, and I do use them for the sake of avoiding having to touch meats and then trying to like grab seasonings, opening the fridge, turning on the pipe. I just find it easier to do this. I use this fruit and vegetable wash to kind of rinse off the lemons, excuse me. Just before I cut them, you know, things live on the surface of particular of well, all fruit vegetables. If I don't have any of that fruit wash, I use like a a little small dot size of Dawn soap because it is mild enough to use in this regard, and I make sure I scrub off just before I cut into it, just because again you don't want anything that was living on the skin to transfer to the actual fruit. So yeah, so pretty much this is just what you see me do here, is just like making sure that I saturate the chicken with the lemon. I even leave some of the lemon, and this is why I wash it also. After I squeeze it, I just drop them in there with the chicken just to let it soak. And I mean, raw chicken is raw chicken. It can't smell it's not going to smell like rainbows and roses. But after rinsing off the chicken from this, like, it's vinegar, lemon juice, soak, whatever you want to call it, it does smell really fresh. And quite desirable in terms of like wanting to get at it and cook. So I make sure that it is fully coated. And then you'll see me pour cold. Obviously, you don't want to use warm or hot water, but I pour cold water enough to cover over all of the chicken pieces. And then I cover it, and I let it soak for a little bit. And this was a perfect time for me to run the vacuum again, change out any laundry. It's like 20 minutes, and there's so much that you can accomplish if you're using that time wisely. Also, I like to keep a bag or a plastic bag of some sort. It just helps with not having to move anything that could potentially drip across the floor. Like having that bag right there means everything can go in the bag, and all I need to do is tie that bag and drop it into the garbage, and then take that big garbage out. I remember one time leaving chicken pieces, I think it might have been like skin or fat or something, and it was the summertime where it was just really hot. I don't remember, it was a while ago, but it stunk up the whole place like sitting chicken fat, right? So I do make sure that when that bag goes into the garbage, especially if the garbage is full, it's an easy chore to just run the garbage out to the dumpster. Sometimes I've even just taken the little bag that had the container of the chicken, the plastic bag that I got from the supermarket, and I would just run that to the dumpster. Our dumpster is literally down the steps and right across, like one parking row across from our front door or our steps. So it's not a long walk, just because I don't want that lingering in the house. So here, the chicken, I leave it covered so that nothing falls. So I let this sit for 20 minutes, which gave me enough time to vacuum up the carpet freshener, which was just a calming experience because it smelled up the room just again, and put Lauren's clothes in the laundry. I still have some things that I need to fold for her, sort into things that don't fit, things that she wears just at home, and then things that she'll wear at school. So when I'm done here, when the laundry is done, I will finish out my day of chores. I lie. I will fold her laundry, sort her clothes for the week, in terms of what she'll wear every day to school. I am going to straighten up the bathroom, and then my chores for the week will be done. But let's get back to it here. So the chicken has had time, like I said, 20 minutes to sit in that vinegar, lemon juice, fresh lemon bath, and cold water, of course. And so I am going to dispose of the water down the drain. I will rub another lemon on it and then rinse well, I'll drain, rinse, rub another lemon on it, and then be done with that. I've already have the paper towel laid out to dry, and then my bowl to capture the clean, dry chicken for seasoning. So yeah, I decided to do this vlog style, in part so that I don't have to do a voiceover later. So if I screw up, I screw up. It is what it is. I kept this bag here that had like my old gloves that I had used to touch the chicken, as well as the container that the chicken came out, so that I can easily take the lemon that had been in here and drop it in there versus having to try to get it across or behind me to the garbage where, you know, things can drip and spill. And then I am going to take this and pour down, right down the drain. I usually use the side with the garbage disposal. Taking my other lemon here, and I'm squeezing the juice onto the chicken, and I am massaging this chicken like I bought it some dinner before this, you know, getting all up in there, rubbing it or massaging it. My bad sense of humor or my bad jokes, I don't know, whatever. Massaging everything with the lemon. And then again, because my bag is right here, I simply can just drop that in there, rubbing it one last time, getting that lemon juice all up and through it, just for that fresh smell. Like, yes, it is a chicken, so that it does, and it's raw chicken, so it still smells like chicken, but when it's been able to sit in that bath and then I rub it down, it smells less like chicken, and it has a more fresh lemony smell. Not lemony clean, pine salt clean, but fresh food clean is what I'm trying to get at. I put a little cold water, just run it through that one last time, and then pour that out. I do remove a glove. I'm talking to you all like I'm performing surgery or something, but you know, whatever. And so I'm gonna put another paper towel. I use a lot of paper towel. Less now for cleaning, now that I use mostly my microfiber cloth, but when it comes to cleaning meats, cooking, and things like that, I do use a lot of paper towel. So I am simply laying out the chicken on my parchment paper towel drying system here. The parchment paper is solely for the purpose of not having that juice seep through onto the cutting board. Turning on the hot water to rinse out the bowl. And I guess I'm really kind of going through all this level of detail because when it comes to cleaning food, cleaning meat, people have their feelings about it. I am putting some hot water. I put a lot of Dawn in here just to sit a little. Because people, you know, they have like their different philosophies on like how they do the chicken cleaning, meat cleaning. Some people just like run a little water on it. Some people just take it from the package straight into the bowl. Whatever. I'm just going through my process. So either way, now I'm simply rolling over that the chicken with the parchment paper and the paper towel, not wearing any gloves because I am not touching the actual chicken. It is simply getting rolled. I am touching the parchment paper to kind of absorb any of that excess chicken. So it still needs to dry a little more. I'm going to pick up each individual piece. Just going to grab some extra gloves. Grabbed 2 paper towel. Just kind of hitting it one last time, kind of squeezing out any of that extra moisture. When I am done with this, the little baggie, luckily the bag, the garbage itself is full and has to go out, so all of it will just go out. Most times I would just walk the little bag to the dumpster so that it doesn't sit, especially if it's like chicken where I've peeled off the skin or something has fallen off. I made the mistake one time of letting it sit in the garbage, and it was awful. Like it just stunk. It was pretty disgusting. So I don't make that mistake anymore. So when I'm done with all of this, I've cleaned up everything and put everything away. I'm actually going to take the trash out. And like I said, I'm just going to show you. It's not getting too close to my face or my nose or anything. Just smelling it. Again, it's raw chicken, so it has that chicken smell. But it doesn't have that icky out of the plastic chicken smell. I do the same process for other meats. So like if I do beef, lamb, I may not let it sit in the bath as long, but I do the same, like lemon juice, vinegar, fresh lemon, to sort of kind of cut that, just to cut that ickiness. So now I'm done drying. I am going to remove these gloves. I'm pulling the parchment paper, full glove again, and like this whole thing now can just be folded and dropped into the trash. I'm gonna grab another piece of parchment paper here. This had already been sitting on a paper towel, so I'm just opening this up, sliding it here. I do need a knife. So part of, I think this will do. Part of seasoning chicken in advance of when you're cooking it is also to allow that flavor to marinate, right? Like so that you have some flavorful chicken. When I show you the seasonings, the only like, I do use some seasoned salt, but no like direct salt. So anyway, in order for that to just be like all, you know, tasty and to let the juices seep in, not just on the surface, but, you know, as you bite into the chicken, I just grab a knife, take the chicken, and I cut slits into it. This one's a little deep, but it is what it is. Probably 2 or 3 slits along the chicken so that the marinade or whatever it is has just an opportunity to seep through and your flavor isn't just surface, right? For those who know me, I absolutely love chicken. Chicken is like my favorite thing to eat. I absolutely enjoyed any time my mom made any kind of chicken dish, chicken and broccoli, baked chicken, barbecue chicken, curry chicken, chicken fried rice. Things that I've tried to emulate in my adult life and sometimes have been successful and sometimes have failed, but I do love chicken, particularly dark meat. If I have to have white meat, it would be the wing of the chicken. I do not a fan of just eating chicken breast as is. There has to be special circumstances for me to make some chicken breast. Although I do have some breast tenderloins in the fridge right now for tacos. I'm making some chicken and some beef tacos on Friday, and that is like one of these special circumstances. So I'm just cutting. Slit. I find that the flavor has more opportunity to, like I said, seep through. Yeah, so and I do not just put this in the sink as is. I have a paper towel here that I will rest this on until I'm ready to drop it in the sink. So now I'm just going to show you the seasonings and things that I use. So the first thing I'm going to put in here is the chicken seasoning, chicken bouillon. I use the Goya brand. And 1 packet is the equivalent to 1 cube. So if you use the cube, you know, that's fine too. So I'm just seasoning. Since I'm doing just talking right now, I'm just going to take this opportunity to say thank you to those who continue to come back and watch my videos. This is Sazon. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Natasha. I am a working mom of 1. I do share my life with my daughter's dad. It's always weird for me to say like boyfriend or significant other, because for a while we kept our relationship between us two. And, you know, as this channel grows and I tell more stories, that will be a story that I tell. But so he is just my partner. He is my friend. He is my love. But anyway, so I do share my life with him. And I'm a full-time working mom also. So I work in the education sector. I have for the last, what's crazy to say, 10 years. I love it. Some days are harder and more challenging than others, but it is something that I continue to come back to do. So the chicken is getting a very orangey look, and that is just because of the Sazon. The powder itself is orange, and so that is what is giving this chicken its hue. And so as you can see, and let's see if I can hold it up, it's like seasoning is now getting into those slits. So it's not just sitting on the surface, it is just getting in there. So I added 2 packets of each. Now I'm going to add some garlic powder. I'm usually a little generous with garlic. Sometimes I will grate fresh garlic before I cover the pan or cover the dish to bake. It's a vampire slayer in my past life. No, I'm just joking. But I really do. I like flavorful food. It's one thing I hate is I hate bland food or having to go back over or needing salt, because then that is not good, just because that's also not healthy, and high blood pressure runs in my family. So salt is not something that I can be like, yes, lay it on thick. So just sprinkling, getting all up in through here with some onion powder. Every so often I'm stopping to just make sure that all that seasoning is getting soaked in, soaked up. Can't forget some black pepper. Most of my seasonings are Kroger brand seasonings. Seasoning is expensive, right? Like one of those things that as a kid you didn't think was too much money until you became an adult, like McCormick and Lowry's and Tones. Like those are really good seasonings, and I have a few of those. But for some basic staples, I choose the Kroger brand because it's just cheaper that way, and you can get more for less. So yeah. So letting that sit in. The next thing I'm going to put is, like I said, I do have some rosemary, garlic. Rosemary and chicken pair very well, and again, you can never have too much garlic. This seasoning, however, is like big and chunky, so sometimes I don't like to use it because when you bite into your food, like it's like you're biting into that. So sometimes it's a little obnoxious, but again, rosemary and chicken pair super, super well. I am going to, gotta use my arm, some adobo. And this one has coriander, and I think that's pronounced annatto. This adds flavor, and this adds a little color to the food as well, right? So it just adds a little color using a little bit of that. So that is it for like the, well, no, I lied. So, excuse me, that kind of got in my throat there. Allspice, they call it allspice berries. But you know, you can buy allspice in its powdered form. You can probably run these through the food processor and grind them up that way. I just like to put them in there whole. I put like maybe 3 or 4 or 5 berries in there. I do leave them in there to marinate, as well as I make sure they get into the dish when I'm baking or cooking. because it is, one, extremely aromatic, two, very flavorful. So that is truly it. Sometimes I'll put in some pieces of clove. I don't mind. Mine is just done. I don't have any more. And I actually got these when I visited my sister. And so whenever I decide to go back and visit her, I'll have her take me to the market, the big market where, you know, just they have everything. Some things that I don't get to find here in Tennessee, unfortunately. So yeah. All right, last but not least, I'm going to add a few spoonfuls of this. Let me hold up the jar. This green seasoning. It's a little watery, but they're chunks of, well, before I get into it, so people, in some cultures, it's called sofritos or sofritas, sofrita, whatever you want to call it. In other cultures, epis, but it is just a seasoning that has onions, green peppers, red peppers. Depending on the color of it, you can add whatever color bell pepper. I left mine pretty much just with green and red. It has green onions. It has allspice, clove, garlic, thyme, and it is so, and some Scotch bonnet peppers as well. It is extremely, I don't know if you can see that first little chunk right there. Extremely flavorful. Mine is a water base so that it can last longer. Some people make theirs with oil. I use water just because it lasts longer in the refrigerator. 2. I put this on all my meats that I'm seasoning. I put this even when I am making rice and peas, or rice that's just not white rice. It's just a good it's just a great flavor add. Like, you cannot go wrong. Like, so that covers, this is my wet seasoning, and I'm going to add also some Worcestershire sauce. I use the Lee and Perrins brand, but this adds that nice wet seasoning. This is what sticks to the meat. This is what then produces some of those juices that then settle in the Ziploc bag when I open it. I just want to see if I can show you some more, just what that looks like. It's almost like a salsa. For people who make their salsas at home, it's almost like that consistency. It does add some spice because of that Scotch bonnet, and the longer the Scotch bonnet has an opportunity to sit, the spicier it is. So, like, even when I made this with the barbecue chicken yesterday, it had a little kick to it. When I make the tacos, the chicken, I will not add it to it because Lauren does like chicken, and so that will be, she'll have those tacos. And see, this has a piece of clove in it. Don't know if you can really see that piece of clove there. So it's just really good. My sister introduced me to it. I would visit her. She would send me home with a batch, and then when she came to visit, she helped me make my own batch. And so, like I said, water based so that it lasts longer. I bet even if you're making like different sauces, you can freeze these and put them in the freezer. And just drop them in there. So great value add there. Okay. I'm gonna stick that there on the things to be washed but not rested in the sink. Last but not least, I am going to add some dabs of, or some heavy dabs of Worcestershire, whatever you want to call it, sauce. And just mixing that all in. And again, those slits in the chicken really help to get that seasoning and that flavor in deep. I lied. I'm wrapping my hand in some paper towel here so I can go to the kitchen. The fridge. I am gonna put like, my mom would kill me if she sees this, and she is going to see this. My number one fan, excuse me. Love you, Mom. But I hate peeling garlic, right? I hate it. So as a substitute, I just get the Spice World squeezed garlic. And I'm going to put a little bit in here. I know I had already put the rosemary garlic powder. There's garlic in the eppies, but you can never have too much garlic. I'm not gonna put a lot, just a dollop, maybe one more. There you go, dollop squeeze. That one didn't come off, guys. So that was the same one, just didn't come off. Just taking that and mixing that all around. Again, this is the kind of food you need a breath mint to eat afterwards, but it is so flavorful. And when this bakes, it's just gonna have a nice like burnt orange look to it, and it's gonna be so good. When I bake it, I will drop a little bit of oil on top, just to kind of help crisp it up. But then look at all of that. That then becomes, when the chicken springs a little, I don't know if it's the chicken that springs water, something will spring a little water, mix with a little bit of oil, and makes a nice little sauce over your chicken or rice, or in this case, I'll be making it with potatoes. And it's just like all of that then becomes like, look at that. That is just so good. Just so good. Like I said, I do not like food that is not flavorful. I'm not the salt and pepper type seasoner, though that's what works for people. No disrespect or, you know, to that. But like, I grew up where you flavored your food, you know. Okay, so that is done. Take this off. All these little seasoning packets. Put that in there. I'm gonna grab some Ziploc bags. I just need 2. So these were 9 pieces. I hate when they do the odd number, but it's cool. I will be able to get, so if I do 4 for tomorrow and 5 at another time, I am able to at least get 3 meals out of this, and I include leftovers in that. So tomorrow will be the 4. That won't probably get me very far unless, you know, well, it will be coupled with salmon, so it will get us maybe into Tuesday. And then next week, because I have meals already planned out that don't involve these chicken legs, this will get us another meal plus leftovers. So here is the chicken for tomorrow. And then this is the chicken that I am going to just seal off and put in the freezer until next week. I have not planned next week's menu yet, so I don't know when I will use this, but usually when I need to, I would just take the chicken out of the freezer the night before and put it in the fridge, and then at least an hour before cooking, I will take it out so it kind of hits, it's cool, not cold, so it doesn't alter or affect baking. Or baking time is what I meant to say. So like all of this that is sitting in here, I'm just gonna grab this spoon and scoop it into the bag. You don't want to wash that down the drain if you don't have to. So that is all flavor. All right, and so now that I am done, I can tie up this bag. This was all the chicken salmonella living in this bag. And I can put it in the garbage, and I will be taking out the trash. This goes into the sink. Hot water, some good old Dawn. And I'll also drop the knife that I used to cut the slits in there as well. I get to wrap up. Oh man, got a little seasoning on there, but it's okay. This also goes into the sink. When I wash these dishes and when I actually deep clean the sink, because I did throw the chicken water, juice, whatever into the sink, I do use Clorox. This is cleaner with bleach in there, along with some Dawn dish soap, and I scrub. So I will wash these, let these sit. I'll actually spray down everything in the sink now with this and let it sit, and then I will go back and wash it. So Thanks for joining me on this. I don't even know if I'd call this meal prepping, right? But at least putting myself in a better position to not have to spend money, because I'm like, who wants to clean and season chicken after a long day of work and then having to do some things with Lauren? So hopefully this inspires you that when you get your meat, when you buy your meat, I won't lie, I bought this yesterday and made sure to season it today, because you don't want to have your chicken sitting in the fridge for forever and a day. You do want to eventually use it or freeze it. And so was able to dedicate time to look at all that flavor. But let me stay focused. I'm getting this done so that tomorrow, that is the 30 minutes less of prep time that I have to put into doing this. So anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking with me as I did like my little pickup clean and my preparation in terms of meal, at least for the first few days this week. Again, please subscribe, like, comment, and share. I appreciate all your love and support as you take a peek into this little life of mine. Bye, loves.